Alrighty, here we go again. It's been a while since I've recorded a video. I've actually been playing quite a bit, but haven't had a great deal of exceptional games that were really worthy of recording. And for the first time in ages, I actually had a game encounter bugs. And it really sucks too, because it was a fantastic game against a Dralnu deck, where I was playing Nin the Pain Artist, and was really far behind due to him top decking a Vandal Blast the turn after I Vandal Blasted him, and him reducing me down to just 3 land and having to really struggle to get back in the game was pretty epic. But unfortunately, the replay crashes right around the time I cast Impulse. So the bugs are still out there. They're rare, but it hasn't been completely solved. Fortunately, this game does not have any bugs, and though it's not as good a game as the game against Dralnu, it's still, I think, worthy of your time and attention. I'm playing with Dralnu, the budget EDH general, who's slowly but surely making his way to non-budget, unfortunately. At least the general is still under $2. A fair amount of the cards are no longer under $2. So if you are playing the 2DH format and you're using the deck list that I gave you a while ago, or that you've seen from my videos, something like 7 or 8 of the cards are no longer under $2, which is unfortunate, but that may change in time. Either way, I'm not going to bother to change the deck because it's too much of a pain in the ass to update it. This is certainly a very keepable hand, even though it's a little shy on action. But it does have the Scepter of Fugue and Star Compass, so I can cast that. It's got Diabolic Edict. My opponent is playing Karametra, God of Harvests. Honestly, a general I've never been too impressed by. I actually got in an argument some time ago. I think it was on YouTube. Maybe it was on Reddit. Some guy was claiming that Karametra was unbelievably strong and the best of the green-white commanders. And I tried to explain to him carefully about why it wasn't very good. And he went on to explain to me that I knew nothing of ramp, which is a quote that I've repeated numerous times in the past in conversations with my friends. Anyway, I think I do understand ramp pretty well. And though Karametra might be the king of ramp, it doesn't really do a whole lot else, which is why I don't put it in the same category as things like Captain Sisse or Gaddock Teague, and isn't particularly good finisher the way that the big flying hexproof guy Sigarda is. Anyway, I'm going first, certainly keeping. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of these generals. Just playing the swamp first, and I'm doing that in case I top deck a second swamp in order to get the scepter going on turn 2. Serra Ascendant. Well, normally a huge pain in the ass, but fortunately I have janky bad cards that I have to play with in budget. And I happen to have one of them in hand. And I did draw a second black source, but unfortunately I can't play it this turn because we got to just pop that guy off. I suppose I could have just played the Star Compass this turn and next turn cast Edict, but that still would not have allowed me to play the Scepter, so I'm just going to avoid taking the 6. Canopy Vista. Alright, it's got to be heartbroken. That's the thing about Serra Ascendant too. If you have a way to kill it, it's kind of like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt. It's the kind of card that people will keep a really sketchy speculative draw because they have so much ability to put pressure on you with one of those kind of degenerate undercosted spells. So if you have a way to tutor for immediately kill a creature like the Serra Ascendant or whatever, or kill an artifact early, it often can open up the range of cards, of hands that you don't want to mulligan away. In fact, if I have a hand that's slow, but it has something like Nature's Claim in it, or even the Reclamation Sage, or some other form of artifact removal like Vandal Blast, I'll often keep those hands just because I know at the very least that my opponent's not going to be able to outramp me. Alright, Aeon Chronicler is really nice. I can play Star Compass and Dimmer Aqueduct here. That's an awesome turn, going from 2 to 4 mana and getting all the colors activated. I have enough mana to cast the Scepter and use it next turn. And actually, the Scepter in particular, I mean, I think it's excellent against a lot of decks, but against decks like Karametra, which tend to be very bomb-heavy and tend to be a little slow to develop, the Scepter can be amazing because you can Scepter away all their late-game cards while they're trying to build their board position. By the time they actually get to the mid-game, they don't have any cards left in their hand, which is obviously a problem with Karametra to begin with. So the Scepter is hopefully going to assist him in that. Thought Vessel, also very nice. Think about this for a while, and I decide that with 6 cards still in hand, he may have some things left to throw away that are not too useful, maybe extra lands or whatever. So I decide that I'm just going to put the Aeon Chronicler out and start putting some pressure on. I really like with control decks to always be the aggressor if possible. Obviously you can't always do that, but I'm suspending the Aeon Chronicler for that purpose. Plus, obviously, drawing more cards and getting into some counterspells would be handy. I do kind of want to counterspell the Karametra when he does play it, if I can. So I'm hoping to draw a counter in the next 2 cards. All right. And I'm going to have a 6/6 out too, which is nothing to laugh at. All right, Prismatic Lens. Come on, counterspell. Factory. Well, it's starting to turn into an all-mana hand, unfortunately. But we can still bash for 6. And we can Scepter him now. Play that. Play the Lens and Scepter. Terastodon. See, and he's not playing Reanimator either. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about. Like, this is such a crushing bomb. And obviously one of the best cards in the Karametra deck. But if I'm Sceptering him on turn 4 when he only has 4 land in play, he can't really hold on to it. So let's keep account of how many bombs that Scepter handles this game. Alright, 5 mana. Acidic Slime. Well, surely there goes the Scepter. But no, he chases after the Dimmer Aqueduct, which I can respect as a play, honestly. I mean, obviously the Scepter is very powerful, but if he curtails my black mana in other ways, I may not be able to use the Scepter very effectively. I still think I would have killed the Scepter of Fugue, given the fact that I still have so much mana in play. But it's an understandable play. I just draw more. So we're just going to keep Sceptering rather than playing Dralnu, because Dralnu's not doing anything right now, given that I only have an Edict in the graveyard. Thragtusk. Yet another giant fatty slain by the Scepter. I'm just going to play the Bauble. I'm just going to hang out. I'm not attacking here. I don't want to put this thing in the graveyard because he may have a way of reanimating it. Plus, the Chronicler can get larger and deal with bigger things later on. Alright, 5 mana again. Okay, well, there's Karametra. No more land to go with it. I'm going to sack. Really need to draw some business here, though. I mean, I almost have enough mana to start using the factory, but my deck kind of thrives on spells, and if I don't draw any spells, it's going to be trouble. God damn it, another land, okay. Well, we're sending him in now. At this point, I don't see the purpose of keeping the Aeon Chronicler around. I'm going to Scepter him again. That time I get a Forest, which he did not play last turn, which is kind of interesting. Though I understand because he gets free Force off the Karametra. So, nothing better to do. Play Dralnu, play land, done. Unfortunately, Dralnu cannot reanimate Aeon Chronicler. But at least I do have an Edict as backup. And actually, that's the reason why I attack with the Chronicler. I intended to cast Dralnu right there and wanted to clear the way so that if he plays a larger creature next turn, I can kill that with Edict. Something potentially problematic and really dangerous, like, I don't know, a Chameleon Colossus or something. 3 mana, Tireless Tracker. Yuck. Alright, well, that's a perfect example of something that the Edict will kill. Tireless Tracker. You want to talk about a creature that has synergy with Karametra. Holy cow. Wall of Omens. Pretty nice. And that's totally anti-Diabolic Edict, unfortunately. So he's got 2 clues just from that. That synergy is unbelievable. You get a land and effectively draw a card for every creature you play. Pretty awesome. This creature's just pretty all-around cool. Doomblade. Wow, that is a top deck and a half right there. With nothing in my hand and no way to kill the Wall of Omens first so that I can Edict away the Tireless Tracker, I draw Doomblade. Huge relief. I'm going to Scepter first, of course. We get an Aven Mind Sensor. So this little humble artifact has killed Terastodon, Thragtusk, Forest, and Aven Mind Sensor. You cannot complain. Mind Sensor's a beating against my deck, too. I have a lot of searching cards. But goodbye, Tireless Tracker. Enjoy your clues. And I have the ability to pop the Doomblade back to kill something big and dangerous, because he's already got a fair amount of mana in play. So he's cast Indrix Stomp Howler. Alright. Well, that's got to be the end of the Scepter. Surely he would know better than to kill one of these mana artifacts. Sure enough, the Scepter dies. And I could immediately just Doomblade the Indrix Stomp Howler, but I figure it's only a 4/4. I'm at 40 still. 4 damage is a fair amount per turn. But he's not quite at Devotion yet to activate Karametra, and there's probably much nastier things in his deck than a 4/4. So I'm just going to leave it be for a while, especially because I can just block it in a couple turns with the Urza's Factory. I'm just going to chill here. Dismiss. Alright, finally I drew something besides mana artifacts and land. That gives me a lot of breathing room, actually. I'm just going to play this thing. And I probably should have tapped my land better so I could make a token at the end of the turn. But given the fact that he's got a ton of mana in play and 2 clues, I figure I'm going to be dismissing something anyway. Cultivate. Well, we're not dismissing that, that's for sure. Alright, clearly I know nothing about ramp. Look at all this mana. Holy cow. He's got 12 in play, I think. What do I have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey. No, more than that. I have 11. Only one behind. Cursor of Krufix. Alright, well, that's dismissible for sure. Black Sun Zenith. Very nice. He still gets another land. But this is just classic Karametra endgame. Tons and tons of land in play, no cards in hand, and nothing to do with all that fuel. Because the general has no inherent card advantage in it. Alright, now I'm going to Doomblade. And the reason I'm doing Doomblade is because I now have a backup removal spell, plus I've got the Dismiss. So I might as well just use Dralnu when I have an opening, since I may need to Dismiss next turn. And now my deck gives me Capsize. It's kind of handy. And he just says done. So we're just going to make a free 2/2. Counterspell drawn. Alright, well, now we're doing the Dralnu thing. Effectively, we've got 3 counterspells, and he only has 3 cards in hand, so he's quickly falling into a hole that cannot be recovered from. I'm going to make another 2/2. Assemble. Tidings. Wow, that is a top deck. Holy. Alright, we get Bajukabog. Quite handy, potentially, given the fact he may have some graveyard interaction, and the Forbid, which is also excellent. Although Forbid loses some value when you've got counterspells already in your graveyard, but we're certainly looking pretty good here. I'm just going to play some more mana. Alright. Dungrove Elder. Alright. Well, that's big, but honestly I'm not too terrified of it. I do have the Black Sun Zenith to shrink it, and I've got lots of other little tricks. I mean, I've just got assembly workers all day too, so I'm really not too concerned about that. I'd rather hold the counterspells. And one of the reasons why I'm not countering here is, while Dungrove Elder is potentially dangerous, he does have 2 mystery cards in his hand and a ton of mana available. He's got, what the hell is this, 11 available. So I counterspell Dungrove Elder, which is not necessarily a dangerous threat, and my opponent responds by playing an Eldrazi like Kozilek or Ulamog or something that I can't bounce effectively over and over again. And suddenly I'm in big trouble, so I decide just to let the Dungrove Elder go. It's because it's not that scary. I mean, 9/9 hexproof, right? Against black-blue? That's not scary. Alright, and he, for some random reason, attacks me with Stirring Wildwood. I'll just double block it here. Combat math, it's a thing. He's just done. I don't know if you had something to say about that. I didn't see a chat dialog box pop up, but still pretty hilarious. Alright. End step. I'm just going to capsize the Wall of Omens because I've got Diabolic Edict in my hand. I don't really need to be buying back Capsize anyway when I've got Dralnu. Concentrate. Alright, now I'm just going to Edict by Dungrove Elder. Here comes the Assembly Worker. I'm playing a diamond. No reason to even concentrate here. I've just got multiple counterspells and multiple mana available. I mean, he just has so much mana available now, 14, that I really need to effectively keep 2 counterspells available at all times. Wall of Omens we don't care about, even though it means he gets more basic land. Mother of Runes and Concession, which is about what I expected. I mean, he still had 3 cards in his hand, but that's just a Karametra problem. You just put a bunch of mana in play, and if they counter your key threats, you're just doing nothing for the rest of the game, and that's exactly what happened this game. So, word of advice to anybody that might consider using this general in the future. I have yet to see a build of Karametra that impressed me at all. That didn't seem like it was could have been a much more effective green-white commander if you wanted to play those colors. More games to come. I will see you soon.